Fear. It's a primal instinct hardwired into our very being. We fear the unknown, the unpredictable, the potentially dangerous. And politicians have known this since, well, forever. Scare people enough and they'll cling to anything that promises security, even if it means surrendering their freedoms. Today, the politics of fear is more potent than ever. Governments around the world exploit our anxieties, often to further their agendas. They paint a picture of a world on the brink, where dangers lurk around every corner, and only they, the brave leaders, can keep us safe. From economic anxieties to social unrest, the issues are often complex and multifaceted. Yet the solutions presented are often simplistic, even reductive, relying on the age-old formula of us versus them. This climate of fear has real-world consequences. It erodes trust in institutions, fuels division within societies, and creates an environment where critical thinking and dissent are stifled. Nothing quite embodies the politics of fear like a good old-fashioned missile. These towering feats of engineering are often touted as the ultimate guarantors of national security, the ultimate deterrent against aggression. They're big, they're loud, and they go boom. Very reassuring, right? Well, not so fast. The truth is, missiles are rarely just about defense. Sure, every country has the right to defend itself, but the development and stockpiling of these weapons go far beyond legitimate security concerns. It's about projecting power, asserting dominance, and sending a clear message. Don't even think about messing with us. The problem is, this kind of posturing creates a dangerous feedback loop. When one country ramps up its missile program, others feel compelled to follow suit, leading to an arms race where everyone loses. Let's not beat around the bush. Missiles are terrifying. They're designed to kill and destroy on a massive scale, and their very existence casts a long shadow over international relations. Even when they're not being launched, they speak in a language of intimidation and fear. The mere threat of a missile attack can be enough to cripple a nation, sowing chaos, disrupting economies, and eroding public morale. It's a psychological weapon, as much as a physical one. This is the true legacy of missiles, a world where countries are held hostage by the threat of annihilation, where dialogue is replaced with brinkmanship, and where the pursuit of peace is overshadowed by the constant specter of war. Section 4. Justifying the unjustifiable: ethics, religion, and the rhetoric of power. So how do political leaders justify the development and use of such horrific weapons? How do they square their actions with basic ethical principles, let alone religious commandments that explicitly forbid killing? The answer, as always, is complicated. It's a tapestry woven from threads of nationalism, self-preservation, and a healthy dose of good old-fashioned hypocrisy. They often resort to a familiar playbook, invoking national security, protecting their citizens, and preserving their way of life. They paint a picture of a world where they are the good guys, fighting against the forces of darkness. But beneath the surface of this rhetoric lies a dangerous truth. The ends rarely justify the means. When it comes to weapons of mass destruction, there are no good guys. It's like that old saying, fight fire with fire, and you'll just end up with a lot of ashes. Section 5. Living under the shadow: the human cost of the politics of fear. The politics of fear, particularly when it comes to missiles and other weapons of mass destruction, comes at a steep price. It's a price measured not just in dollars and cents, but in human lives, shattered dreams, and a collective erosion of our humanity. It's easy to forget that behind the statistics, the political posturing, and the military jargon, there are real people whose lives are irrevocably altered by these weapons. There are the scientists and engineers who devote their considerable talents to building ever more efficient ways to kill. And of course, there are the countless civilians who live under the shadow of these weapons, their lives held hostage by the whims of politicians and the ever-present threat of annihilation. Living under the shadow of fear exacts a heavy toll. It breeds mistrust, stifles dissent, and creates a climate of perpetual anxiety. Section 6. Breaking the cycle. A call for disarmament and dialogue. So where do we go from here? What can we do to break free from this vicious cycle of fear and militarization? The answer, as with most things, is complex and multifaceted. It requires a fundamental shift in our thinking, a move away from the zero-sum game of international relations towards a more cooperative and ultimately more sustainable approach to global security. It's time to acknowledge that true security doesn't come from stockpiling weapons of mass destruction. It comes from investing in education, healthcare, and diplomacy. It comes from fostering dialogue, building bridges, and addressing the root causes of conflict. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And the only way to guarantee our survival is to find a way to coexist peacefully.